इक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद। धन धन गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी महाराज, धन गुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब सच्चे पातशाह। कमाल करामात कायम करीम, रजा बख्श राजक रेहा को रहीम। अमा बख्शो बख्शन देओ दस्तगीर, रजा बख्श रोजी देहो दिल पसीर। शहनशाह खूबी देहो रहनमू, के बेगूनो बेचूनो चूबे नमू। न साजो न बाजो न फौजो न फर्श, खुदाबंद बख्शन दे अशर्श। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। We visit English topics on spirituality on Saturdays. Today we explore the hindrances to spiritual progress. Our Western mind, influenced by Western education, now thinks in divisive ways. So for us, spiritual progress is different from worldly progress. Whether it is the world's experience of the ego mind or the experience of spirituality, they both culminate in the man. What does spiritual progress mean? And why do we need to progress spiritually? Spiritual progress means our ability to be able to go inwards, to be able to connect to our mind which is beyond our thoughts, to relax to a degree where we are so calm that our thoughts have also gone. And we now can see what is in our mind. Because it's the thoughts which are a curtain to our ability to see our mind, to see within our mind. The first step which anyone would need to do for spiritual progress is to assimilate the mind, to be able to drop the thoughts, to be able to shut the doors of the physical world, the outward world. When we are born, we get disconnected from our inner mind, and we get our physical body, and through that we connect to the physical world. And so our entire effort is to push towards our senses, the experience of our senses, and to see and understand the physical life around us. That is where we are driven, naturally driven towards. So it is unnatural for anyone to tell us to go inwards, to seek your thoughts, go in your mind. And we go outwards. We seek experience the life in the physical form as we live it, in the physical, in the senses. We hear, we touch, we feel. And in all this, what are we seeking? We are seeking happiness. In this entire experience of life, our whole pursuit is to find happiness. And that is the trauma. Because if we go seeking happiness, we will find pain. As long ago as 35 BC, Socrates gave a dialogue about life, about the mind, about death, about living, which to date is not common language, it's not common understanding, which to date is the opposite of what society is primarily seeking. It goes to show that not many of us are seeking. Because if we were, we would find this. This is already explained in black and white. In a dialogue, so clearly, he talks about life, what is life, and how we experience life in duality. The Veda talk about Dvait, divisive mind. But if these experiences were already written down as long ago as 2,500 years ago, 2,100 years ago, then what progress have society made towards this ability to understand life? It's a very interesting and important question. And then so many have come after that. So what is progress? Well, we are naturally seeking outside. Our mind is wandering towards our senses, towards the physical world. And in that we explore. Whatever we find joyous, we indulge more in that. Whatever we feel we like more, we indulge in that. And then we prioritize life and we make our targets for our happiness. And the further away the target is from our reality, the more painful journey will be. That mind which is not seeking through the senses has got its peace of mind. But that mind which is seeking through the senses has lost its peace of mind, because he has to or she has to indulge energy, commit energy to that experience. For example, I want to do a PhD in a certain time frame. I don't get time to relax. I don't get time to have free mind. Spirituality needs one essential environment of a free, unstressed mind, calm mind, patient mind. Henry David Thoreau wrote this book on Walden Pond. And he talks about these two spheres of the mind, the doing mind and the being mind. Doing, we want to always keep doing. But the being mind is where I found rest, I found calmness. And I use that because everybody does get rest and calmness in life. But if nobody uses it to go inward. Not many of us do that. Just sitting, Zazen, is a Zen meditation. He says just sit and drop the world, drop the mind. But even they train for years, for lifetimes, to achieve this state. So the important aspect is how to indulge in this direction of trying to calm the mind and focus it, to take the mind into dhyan, because that is the key environment we all need. Sant Niranjan Singh Ji, whom I was with for many years, used to often say, 3 people will have difficulty in the spiritual path. Wavering mind, those who have health issues, and those who are lazy. They will need more effort. So what is the spiritual progress? Is to connect back to that source which we were connected to in our mother's womb, which broke the moment we took birth. Liv chutki lagi trishna, maya amar vartaya. This is a different world, the physical world we came into. Our connection to our Creator broke. And we have come into the physical world. In the physical world, the body, the senses, me, I am, is an important platform. An essential thing is that I am. I can't let go of that. I am is an important, fundamental need for me. And to make myself feel that I am willing to hurt others. I am willing to hurt myself. I am willing to do drastic things if I stop feeling that I am living or not living. When I stop feeling I am, then I can do very drastic things, because that's the basic essential aspect of life. I need that building block, because if I am not, then what I am? What is? So the ego is the fundamental building block of life, the physical life. I am. And we explore this I am in many ways. We try and educate ourselves, we make a social circle, we make friends, we enjoy physical aspects of life, we explore our sexuality, we wander into the nature to relax ourselves. All this gamut of experiences which we have in life are all about trying to understand, who am I? And there is the pitfall. Because the I is a temporary reality. It's not a permanent state of life. This I is given to us temporarily. Like a canvas which was white is now colored with a certain shade. But the paint can be removed and the canvas will remain. We are like the painting of nature. We are being drawn into this experience over this mind which is never changing and which is our fundamental building block. So our inability to know our mind, our inability to understand who am I, is my confusion. And to connect myself to this source mind, that mind which is my white canvas, that is spirituality. That mind which never changes and is my source mind, which is my building block, is my creator, is where I come from. I need to go back there. I'm trying to journey into that mind, unconsciously, subconsciously. That is what I'm seeking. Because that mind has some inherent qualities which are very attractive. It is a source vibrant with energy. It is a stable environment of the mind. It's where nothing wrong happens. It's where love and happiness exist as an environment, not as what I have to do. In the ego world, to find happiness, I have to do. Unless I enjoy my peace, then I just have to let go. And if I enjoy my peace, then I've partly understood that I am not this ego mind. If I have understood that a calm mind is more important than the running mind, the doing mind, then I've understood that all these goals of life are driving me away from my inner peace, my inner reality, my inner love, my inner existence. Then it is driving me away into conflicts, into confusions, into errors, into doing things which will become painful for me. Bhai Nandlal asks this question. He says, Gam che bashad, gaflat az yaad khuda. What is the reason for unhappiness? It's to forget the creator, the source of where we come from. हजार अवगुण हो इंसान में मगर एक एहसान फरामोश ना हो. We have forgotten where we come from. And to go back there, to understand where we have come from, is our spirituality, is our seeking. And that is an answer to our core question of life. Where is my happiness? Rabia, the Sufi Sant from Basra, teaches us that happiness is within us, and we are seeking it where the glamour is, where the noise is, where the parties are happening. But that's where we will find pain. Socrates tells us that pain and pleasure live together. If we seek pleasure and joy, pain will come with it. The Greek story says that happiness and sorrow were two very good friends, and they had a huge fight, and they never met. But when they went to God, He tied one foot of both of them together. So the left foot of sorrow is with the right foot of happiness. And the story in Greek mythology says that if we are sitting in the bed with happiness, then sorrow is standing right behind them. So these experiences of good, bad, ugly are always going to keep happening in our life in the physical sense. So here is the reality, which is our first hindrance. The life which we live of the senses is too real. It is too important. It is all encompassing. There is nothing else we know but for the physical experience of life. That is our first problem. Imagine we have some ground to stand on, and we don't know any other ground. We don't know any other space. Then that is all that we have. But the reality is that we do have space, but we are unaware. So Guru calls this Maya. What is real is seeming like imagination, and what is unreal is seeming like reality. We are so sure there is nothing beyond death. We are so sure that life is all that there is. There is nothing else in this life. We are so sure that there is no mind where there is no thought. What is our experience is all that we hold on to. So the second issue is that we don't want to explore life. We don't want to live passionately. Because if we live passionately, then we will seek out the source of our pain. We will seek out the reason we are unhappy. And if we do that, we will find our source mind, because that's the only answer. Spirituality, spirit, is the only answer to our pain. There is none other. But what we do in our present life, we avoid pain. So when we live through life, we avoid pain. So we don't understand that the basic experience of life is pain. Let's take an example of Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha was taken on a chariot to experience the world, and he saw death, illness, and he saw old age. These three things, he just saw them, and it changed him. It changed him to a degree where he abandoned life completely. He said, if this is the reality of life, then this life is not worth living. This is not what it is. Now we experience these things every day. Every day we see death. Every day we see illness. Every day we see old age. But none of us are willing to learn. So our ability to absorb our environment is different from how Gautam Buddha has seen the world. He sees the same thing as you and me. But how did it change him so much? And it doesn't change us at all. How did that teach him so much about life that he was able to then go beyond the changing experience of life to find that stability of life which is forever, and created a religion which today is literally dominating half the world. So there is something wrong with the way we experience life, how we avoid getting the right signals. When I see death, I don't see it as my death. I see my health, my environment today, and that is how I perceive the world. If I am happy, all the world is happy. I see death and I avoid thinking about it. I see illness and I avoid thinking about it. Most of us have seen old age, but we don't learn from that. This is our reality. This is our tomorrow. So our vision is blocked. We avoid anything which is painful. We avoid going below the surface and exploring the deeper mind. And we avoid searching the mind. That is a definite no-no. Maharaj says, Antar vasena, bahar jaye. Doesn't go inwards, is always going outwards. That is our nature. Amrit chhad bikhe bikhaye. This is our reality, Maharaj. Amrit chhad. Amrit is unconditional happiness, where there is no death. So Maharaj says there is an environment in life where Amrit is present forever. And I leave that and I take poison instead. That is how committed I am to the outward world. That is how tied I am to my ego and environment of I am, that I am unwilling to give it up. Even if I am in pain. Even when I do suicide, I don't give up the I. When someone commits suicide, he's not giving up the identity. He's saying, I will give up the physical world, but my identity I want. It's a cry for help. But it is also someone who's not willing to go beyond the environment of I am. Because nobody tells us this. Nobody taught us this. Nobody taught us to sit and explore the mind. Nobody does that. And we don't have that energy and the time to explore the Shabad, to explore the Guru's word, to explore what is written. We want to have our cake and eat it too, or eat our cake and have it too. We want to live the physical world and find Amrit in it. We want to keep our ego and transcend death. These things cannot happen. So our vision is blocked. That is our inner reality. And that tells us something about ourselves. That tells us that we avoid pain, we avoid understanding from the experiences of life. We don't live passionately. We don't risk. We want to keep our ego satiated, to keep building on the ego, to grow our ego. More pain is more ego. A relaxed mind will be less painful. Whatever be the environment, the more relaxed I am, the more calmer I am, the lesser it is going to be painful for me. But yet, I live a partial life. Why? Because I have found the physical world through my birth. And this physical world at birth is what I know. I don't need anything. I don't know anything better. There are 4 things which are very critical to spiritual progress. Sangat, Seva, Simran and Shabad. How much of these we have in our life? Because these are our coping mechanisms of the physical world, of the spiritual world. There are coping mechanisms of the physical world where the emotional stability is dependent on sharing, on ability to understand ourselves, to be able to relax our mind. That's the physical world. But in the spiritual world, Sangat, I remember Guru Amar Das Maharaj handing over the Guruship, and he says, Buddhe di Sangat na chadna. Guru tells the Guru, don't leave the Sangat of the wise and the spiritually inclined, those who are in Simran. Guru is telling the Guru. That is how important Sangat is. Seva is our ventilation. We are feeling depressed, we are feeling upset, we are feeling sad, we are feeling confused. Seva is our way to coagulate the mind, to stabilize the mind, to find the love again. We are disconnected. We find to connect through seva. We do seva. We clean utensils. We look after the floor. We clean the floor. We do some things which are full of love, but don't have a target. Don't have a desire built into it. Because the desire is the ego world. He says, Sev karat hove neh kami, tisko hot parapat swami. Neh kami, desireless, that is seva. Otherwise it is work. Anything I do with a desire is not seva, it's work. Anything I have done and I stood in the public and announced I did it, it becomes work. Because the ego has claimed the benefit. So what does Guru say? Je lode changa apna, kar punho neet sadaiye. If you want good for yourself, do good and get called the culprit, the neech. Don't claim the benefits of what you're doing. Sant Hindrances Singh used to tell me, do that seva which nobody can see you're doing, and that which nobody else wants to do. Clean the toilet. Do it when everybody's asleep. That is how seva is to be done. Because it is for the soul. It is for my spiritual journey. Why do I need spiritual journey? This is a competitive world. We make even spirituality competitive. I have lost, he is gaining, I may not get it, I may lose it. What will happen? So the targets I build about spirituality are a great misnomer. They are you never know what we are doing. E marg ke gane jaye na kosa. You cannot measure spiritual progress like this. We do this. What if I die tomorrow? What will happen? I have seen some of us are anxious. So the moment we get anxious, we defeat the purpose of spirituality. We defeat the purpose of being spiritual, of being a Sikh, of seeking, of calming ourselves. We want to make those rules which are of the physical world, we apply them for spirituality. They don't belong there. Spirituality is timeless. And once we have connected to a guru in spirituality, then we need to be patient. Dheeraj Sunyar. Then panic and anxiety means that we don't have a guru. Panic and anxiety means we are not connected to our inner calmness. So this is our other hindrance. Spirituality is about relaxation, calmness, peace, dheeraj. And the more anxious we are, the more wandering we are and pressured we are, the further away we will go from our own spirituality. Where is our spiritual goal? It's our mind. It's our man. And where is our man? We live our man. This is what Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib is telling us. Kahire ban khojan jai, sarab nivasi sada alepa, tohe sang samai. So we speak spirituality through the physical. We want to see it through our eyes. That is why these photographs, that is why these forms and shapes, that is why the idols. But Maharaj says, Creator has no form or shape. No defined form or shape. Then how are we going to define? We can't hold on to anyone. We can't hold our Creator. We can't establish our Creator. Saibang. We can't establish Him. He is present wherever reality is, wherever the creation is, He is present in it itself. Hak sach khalak. Khalak mein aane. Sham murat nahi. Hak sach khalak. That the Creator lives in the khalak. The khalak, the Creator, lives in the khalak, the creation. Hak sach khalak, khalak meane. Meane means lives inside, in the mayan. Sham murat nahi. Bhagat Kabir says, He is everywhere. Then where are we seeking Him outside? Bahar tundat bahut dukh paave. He says, the more you seek outside, the more pain you will get. Then now comes the other issue. In our spiritual seeking, if we are in earnest, if we are intensely seeking, then we will start looking for a guru, physical guru. 9.9 people out of 10 today who are claiming themselves to be guru are not guru. So the concept of guru is not understood by us. We don't know who is guru, and we are seeking the guru. Yesterday somebody sent me a question and said, is there any Brahmgyani in Punjab today? This is what is it supposed to mean? Who can know who a Brahmgyani is? A Brahmgyani can be sitting next to me and I will not know he's a Brahmgyani. To be able to experience a Brahmgyani, I have to be a Brahmgyani also. Otherwise I will never know. Then what is this question meant for? Basically what he is saying, can I meet somebody who is spiritually evolved? I think that's again seeking the guru in the physical. But a guru is a shabad. is ever-present energy everywhere. And we connect through Guru how? Even if we met a physical Guru, we establish a Guru, we say he is our Guru or she is our Guru. Then how do we connect to the Guru? Through the Man. Only when we connect in our thought first, in our dhyan, then the connection happens. So how is the connection happening between Guru and Sikh? Through dhyan and Shabad. Through dhyan and thought and Shabad. Suppose a Guru says something to me and I follow it. So how is that happening? Shabad. The Guru is saying, wake up in the morning and do this mantra. Let me, for example. So what is the Guru saying? Shabad. So how is the meeting happening? The Shabad is my meeting the Guru. It goes within my man, transform my mind. Then I practice the Shabad. I practice what is being said. So Maharaj says, Suniya maniya, man ki tapao. Listen and do. Do we need a physical Guru for that? I will say this, that with the coming of Guru Nanak Sahib, there is certainly an example before us where physical Guru is not present. Kavan mool kavan mat vela, kavan Guru kiska tu chela. Pavan aram satgur mat vela, Shabad Guru tun chela. We don't go inwards. This is our biggest problem. We don't want to stabilize our mind and go inwards. We don't want to calm ourselves because it takes an effort to drop the ego. And that is a really difficult task, the most difficult task. Even the teachers of today ask this question, if there is no I, then what is there? Judo Krishnamurti is asking this question. If there is no I, then what? Whereas in the Guru Granth Sahib, every day Guru Sahib is saying, Home dirag rog hai, daru bhi asma hai. Home is the I, it's the disease. Drop the ego. Kirpa kare je apni ta Gur ka shabad kamaye. Nanak kahe suno jano it sanjam dukh jaye. This is how pain will go. Connect the Shabad and the Man. The Guru is the Shabad, Maharaj. And all our lives, we live through life. Not once in a dedicated way, we sit with the Shabad and internalize it. Not once. That is our pain. That is our loss. That is what we should be worried about. Do we have that spare energy, that time? Little bit. Even if it is 5 minutes. Every day I knock on the door. In Christianity they have this saying, knock and it shall be opened. Shabad is my knocking on the door. I sit in the Shabad and Guru is present, Maharaj. Where is Guru now today? Where is Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj? Where is he? जो समा गया वो सदा है, हर जगह है. One who has merged with the creation is everywhere. Maharaj is present everywhere. And how do we meet him? With the dhyan and Shabad, just like we would meet a physical Guru. That's exactly how we meet him even today. Suppose I have a Guru. He or she has just passed away 10 minutes ago. So, what would be the connection? There would be no more Guru then. Or would you say, no, my Guru was there just 10 minutes ago, still my Guru. So it's a matter of only time. 10 minutes or 200 years is only time. Spirituality doesn't measure. It's a length in time. Akal, Murat. It's timeless. Then Maharaj, how do I meet Guru Gobind Singh Sahib? How do I meet my inner reality? That is how I meet Guru Gobind Singh Sahib. It's the same process. Only if I seek with love and with dhyan. So the dhyan and the wandering mind, these are my problems. I make spirituality a target. Guru nahi aaya, what will happen if I die? Well, if I met the Guru, physical reality doesn't have any meaning then. I have one story. There used to be one person in Malaysia, and he used to come to ashram in Pachala, and one of his journeys he went back and something must have happened because he went home and he passed away at night, the day he arrived back home. And everybody, of course, was surprised because he was healthy, seemed healthy, and he was not of much age. His wife had a dream after about a few days, and we heard about that. And in that dream, it came to her that her husband, who passed away, has found a new life in certain place or through certain medium. Now, the important thing here is, I don't know how important it is whether he found space or birth in that particular house or not. What is important is that when we connect to Guru, changing the body is like changing clothes. In Punjab, it's very frequently said, Jama badalna. That is how frivolous death will become for someone who is connected to Guru. Then why this anxiety that if I pass away, what will happen? Spirituality can be a journey of many lifetimes, or it can happen 10 minutes or just this second. This is all in the hukum. And to live that hukum is our reality. We can't order the hukum. Somewhere I read Kabir saying that he has gone through many lifetimes in seeking the Creator. Kabir saying that. And the level of spirituality Kabir is unparalleled. But we want to dictate our ego even to spirituality. So we make our rules for spirituality. So this person asked me about Brahm Gyani. I said, certainly there is. Because I know of one at least. But I told him, you can never meet him. And even if you met him, you can never talk to him. He says, why can that happen? The Mauj. Creation has its own Mauj, its own ways of living. We can't dictate. We can dictate our seeking. We can commit our energy to this seeking of our spiritual experience, to our seeking of our chit, to seek Sat within ourselves. That is our commitment. So we get lost in the Guru. We want a physical Guru. We want someone who will tell us, who will explain us. We don't want to work in trying to understand what is being said. And then we don't listen. One of the biggest problems all of us have, and the way our ego expresses its hindrance to spirituality, is we don't listen. Maharaj says, Gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye pao. In the Japji, Maharaj says 4 paudis of sune hai before manan. So if we don't have the ability to listen, we can't go into manan, we can't go into dhyan. Dhyan means to absorb everything, to process. Dhyan means to remove all the conflicts of life. Dhyan means to put energy at one point and make it stable. Thir ghar. I am sitting here. I am not going to wander. I have committed my mind to be stable. Tuk dam karari jo karu. Bande khoj dil har roz. How much of that we do? We make our targets. Who is making the targets? The ego is making the target. So the moment we say, I have to find Guru within this birth, I can ask it, I can pray it. But remember, Ardas means to give up the ego. The Ardas means to dissolve the ego before the feet of the Guru. Ardas means to request in such a way that I am no more. And the hukum is now after that. And I am transcended the ego. So our hindrances are the Guru also. Concept of understanding who is Guru, where is Guru, how to find Guru. So what we can do is we will see who talks our language, who looks like a Guru, who wears those kind of clothes, or who seems logical. So this logic word comes from logos. It's a Greek word. The entire Western philosophy is built on this word logic. The Greeks used logic, logos, to perfection. If you read through Euclidean geometry, through trigonometry, through Pythagoras, you will find that they used logos to arrive at these theorems, which we use every day in trigonometry. They used it with logic. And the West used logic with the senses. So the senses connected to the logic and created this divisive mind. But logic is a tool of the moving mind. The answers to our questions of life don't come from the wandering mind. They come from that mind which is not wandering at all. The answers come from a mind where all the questions are dropped. There's no mind. So we don't explore the mind. We don't want to go inwards. Sangat, Seva, Simran. Simran we don't do. Now this is a problem. We can have an environment where we are so busy that we don't have any time for spirituality, and it can completely naturally happen. In today's world, our commitments to careers are so deep that we don't have any time. Sometimes we do have time, but we fib ourselves, we fool ourselves. But it can happen that we really actually don't have any time. We are so committed to the task, but for my sleep and my working, I have no energy and time left. What will happen there? What is the answer to that form of life? Is there a possibility of a spiritual seeking that can happen in that mind, which is so absorbed in the physical life and cannot? It has no free energy and time. And what is the door for that person? So we come to that. I will address that issue separately. Most of us do not have that state of mind. Most of us don't. We have some time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We have some time. And I have seen those people who are committed to spirituality give up their sleep time. And they have harnessed dhyan in such a way they don't need so much sleep. Another problem which comes as a hindrance in spirituality, in spiritual progress, is physical health. If we are not fit enough, if there's lack of oxygen in the brain, you cannot do dhyan. So the physical fitness is also critical. Then the balance of life. We get very confused. Often I meet people who say, there's a lot of sexual thoughts I am getting. My sexual desires are my problem. I don't think that's true. That happens because I have enhanced my ego and tried to suppress my sexuality. If we live our sexuality, then it will not come into our head. I think what we try and do is we get obsessed with our own sexual energy, and that obsession doesn't let us go beyond it. So we make ego pollutes our sexual space as well. It's a part of life. There's no reason for us to make it a hindrance to our spiritual progress. It's the same energy used in different levels. Like we use tar for the road, and we use perfume. They're both made from the same oils, the same source, but different levels. Above tar there is furnace oil, above furnace oil there is another oil, then there is another oil. There are different categories of ingredients which are drawn out of oil. And ultimately we make perfume. 100 milliliters would be 4,000 rupees or something. Or it is alcohol. So what I'm trying to say is that the ego again traps us. What we need to do is to go into Simran. Drop your thoughts and do Simran. The obsession with sexuality is part of our thoughts. The moment we drop the thoughts, then we go into Simran. Simran becomes our environment and the thoughts are gone. Gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye pao. That is how we need to resolve. Otherwise, if the resolution is that when the sexual thoughts will go away, then I will do Simran, then it will not happen. So we do the Simran. Don't suppress the thoughts. Let them come and go. Don't hold on to them either. Most of our thoughts are not ours. They are just coming and going. Our understanding of the Guru is a key aspect, Maharaj. Shabad is the Guru. Seva, Simran, Sangat and Shabad. For that person or those people who have no time and energy, their Shabad is the real key. That is the miracle maker. But even there, Dhyan is a necessity. If we do everything in Dhyan, I have a very essential project I am doing. I have no time for Shabad or for meditation or for Dhyan. But that task which I am doing, I do it in Dhyan. Then the task becomes my Dhyan, my meditation. That becomes my transcendent energy. So in the middle of the battlefield, I am battling with Dhyan. So I am not disconnected, I am connected. I don't need to sit separately somewhere. I don't need to have calm environment. Don't need it. My mind is calm because it is in Dhyan. But this is adept. They are the people who know how to do this. They know the mind. So are we able to take the mind into Dhyan and Shabad? This is the key to my spiritual progress. Lack of energy, lack of time, that has a problem. But Dhyan transcends all conditions. So when Guru Sahib goes into Simran, he says, Uthat Baithat Sovat Jagat. What does that mean? It is timeless. Uthat Baithat is no posture. There is no need to really sit in a posture. You can if you want, but it is not a necessity. For me to experience Shabad, I don't need any specific posture because it is already internalized. It is already my breath and my Shabad are together now. They are not different. Swas giras. So the Simran happens to that intensity where I am able to internalize all this process, where I am able to live the Shabad with my breath. This is the key to living a spiritual life. The soul experiencing Atma. Where is the Atma? It's in the Anand of life. Atam Ras is Anand. Atam Ras ja janiye, so hai Khalas Dev. Prabhu mein, moh mein, taas mein, ranchak nahi na ped. Maharaj says, who knows this Atma Ras, the Anand of life? He is the Khalsa. Between him, me and the Creator, there is no difference. So Satgur ke janme gaman mitaya. When we connect to Shabad Guru, wandering ceases. Cease the wanderings of life, Maharaj. Meet the Guru. Anywhere you want. The mind should be present. If I go and meet a Guru physically and my mind is wandering towards what happened to my car today, did it get repaired? I met the Guru, but I am worried about my car. So the mind experience is happening where the mind is. So I don't have a Guru physically, but my mind is with Shabad. I meet the Guru. But if I have a physical Guru and I'm thinking about some physical task, then my meeting is incomplete. It is meaningless. So if I'm present in Dhyan, everywhere there is Guru. There is nowhere there is no Guru. This whole life becomes an experience of spirituality. Every physical aspect of life doing becomes spiritual. So there is no two, there is only one. But to harness this, Sangat, Simran, Seva and Shabad. These four. And fear, drop the fears, drop the anxiety, drop the targets. What is death? For a Sikh and a Guru, what is death? See how many Sikhs have taught us that. They have made the experience of death meaningless. They made it a joyous experience. Doe tante jap ji pade, dekat sab acharj bade. Bhai Mati Das in Chandni Chowk. Both the halves of the body are reciting the jap ji. Doe tante jap ji pade. Mool mantar. We make the Mool mantar so close to our heart, so part of our everyday routine that we have no gap between us and the Mool Mantar. Then what happens? Maharaj says, Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal. The whole experience of spirituality, Maharaj, happens with the cleansing of the mind. That is the key. Like a pond of water which is dirty, which is murky, which is full of mud. You can't see what's in it. Our minds are like that. Maharaj says that when the mind is polluted, corrupted, then we go into Simran to make it pure, make it cleanse it, to let the dust settle so we can see what's in the water. So Maharaj invites us to Simran. And the moment we are able to make the mind identify through the Simran rather than the ego, then our journey begins. Because the Simran becomes our energy center, becomes our Naam. If anybody has any questions, you can keep writing them, and we'll address them as we go along. So we don't need to give up easy. Most of us say, no, this is for the Sant to do. This is not for me. And we don't even venture in it. We don't even explore what it is. What is death? Maharaj has told us. Today in the morning, we were meditating on this Shabad. And Maharaj says, Bade Bure Tarne Taiya. Age is not an issue for death. It equalizes it. Then he says that the Raja and the Rank are barabar. They are the same for death. The moneyed and those who have no money, they are also equal. Death equalizes everything. So we are so anxious about this life. Everything will be equalized. There will be nothing remaining. Then Guru Sahib invites us to Simran. Like the clothes are dirty, we wash them. Like the body is dirty, we wash it with water. Like the mind is distracted, impure, it is polluted by thoughts, we cleanse it with Naam. Par ye mat papa ke sang, o tope naame ke rang. Seva, Simran, Shabad and Sangat. Let's invite these energies to our life with a prayer, Ardas. Ardas kari prab apne aage. That let me make spirituality a key part of my life. Simran, a key part of my life. And that will resolve all the issues as I go along. And I don't apply these wrong rules. When I say that death will happen, then what will happen? I get anxious, anxiety takes it over. I don't have a short vision. My vision to spirituality has to be large, has to be open. Ajar Jarna. You have to have a big heart here. This is the game of life, of the spirit, of the soul. We've understood who Guru is, Shabad Guru. And then there is this other phenomena, recent phenomena, where we are more bothered about techniques. We do this technique, we do that technique, we do this. Yoga is a very good thing for physical fitness. But those techniques are not necessarily very rewarding. For example, manifestation is a more recent phenomenon. Who is manifesting? I am manifesting. If I have the ability to create, then who is God? Then who is Guru? If the I is my answer to my problems, then there is no need for Guru, there is no need for God. Can we manifest a life beyond death? Can we manifest happiness forever? We can't do those things. We are fooling ourselves. Manifestation is a part of our ego. It's a part of our ego's search for itself. And it will lead to more pain. The stronger the ego will become, the more painful it will become. Similarly, techniques. We can use techniques to learn dhyan, to do Shabad. But those are just tools. Use them and drop them. Those are not the Guru. Shabad is the Guru. I hope I was able to bring some points across about our hindrances to spiritual progress. If anybody has any questions, please write them out. We end the session with Anand Sahib, Guru Amar Das Maharaj. The meeting the Guru is the experience of Anand, unconditional happiness. Happiness without reason, a state of being. आनंद पाया मेरी माए, सतगुरु में पाया. महाराज. Okay, let me read the question out. I need my glasses for that. Thank you. Okay, welcome Ji. Since Dhyan transcends all conditions, now should one approach external circumstances before reaching that state? Should we focus on accepting things as they are, or use our will to change it, create an environment more conducive to spirituality? How do we find the right balance between acceptance and change? Good question. This aspect confuses us a lot. Should we change? My air conditioner has got spoiled. Should that be accepted? I should accept it. So it is hukam. Why I should change it? So, part of our whole experience of life is the conditioned mind, where the conditioning matters. What is our conditioning? How we have lived our environment, what we find right or wrong. In the ego mind, that is important, because in the ego mind, that is how we know ourselves. So there is a balance now here between the ego mind and the spiritual man. Maharaj says, "Eh man shakti, eh man syo, eh man panch tat ka jiyo, eh man le jiyo, un man rahe." Teen log ki baatein kahe. Maharaj, what we can change. There's a Greek prayer, I think, which says, "Let me change what I can change, accept what I cannot change, and have the wisdom to know what I cannot change and what I can change." So the first thing is that what are the things in life which we can change? When we talk about hukam and acceptance, one of the primary aspects which governs life is the hukam of death. जो आया सो चल सी, सबको आई बारी है. ऐसो है संसार पेखना, रहन न को पहिए रे. So this is the hukam of the. So the first aspect of understanding hukam is to accept death as our. I was listening to a friend yesterday who was talking. He said, "You may have lot of money, you may not have lot of money. You may be very fit. You may go for walks, eat the right thing, keep yourself relaxed, not be tense. But remember, end of the day, you will still die." So, interesting thing was that accept that we have an ending to this road. And then comes the second question, what is life for? Vahi prapat manuk de huriya. You have opportunity. Gobind milan ki eh teri bariya. This is your chance to meet the Creator. So the first aspect is to understand life will end in death, and death is parallelly moving with us. It's not a faraway thing. Our constant journey of life is an experience of death in one way. We are dying from the day we are born. Whatever we can change in our life, We should change if we want to change it, if that is our conditioning, if we require it. Whatever we can't change, we accept it. But the hukam is not about the thinking mind only. Hukam is everything about life. And hukam can only be known when we have understood the relationship between hukam and ego. Nanak hukme je bujhe, taho me kahe na koi. When we've understood that I am only a transient, temporary visitor, then only hukum's reality will start coming to me. Bujhe, understanding will come. Maharaj. And Naam is our hukum. Naam is our reality. Simran is our hukum. So, the everyday questions of life we address with the energy of Simran. The energy which we get from Simran. Because life can get very confusing. It can create problems and issues which are far beyond our imagination and which can be very constraining, which can be very binding, which can be pressurizing, which can be very difficult. Absolutely, that is absolutely a reality. But then it's like in medical terms they talk about an emotional balance. That in a relationship, when we have emotional balance, we have good harmony for many years, and suddenly there's discord, then that emotional balance will come and help us recreate the energy of communication. Just like that, if Simran is our energy balance, if we have done Sangat, if we have done Ardas, if Guru is, then that will help us. And Sangat, I must say, is always energizing. I do this Saturday, Sunday Sangat at home. Earlier, people had more time, but even then, that is an energizing part of my life, where I find the answers when there are no answers. Sometimes in life there are no answers. You still have Simran. Where there is no thought, where there is Simran, where there is Naam, the Naam is the solution. So the balance of life will come from Simran, from Naam. Because life is dynamic. Today there is less problem, sometimes there is more, sometimes tomorrow there is no problem. That is the connectivity between the times of highs and lows of life is Simran, is Dhyan, is Shabad. Now Dhyan, the energy of Dhyan and Shabad together. We did this on the session on third eye few weeks ago. If you listen to that, you may be able to understand the Trikuti, the third eye, the Dhyan and the Shabad. So the Dhyan is like my chariot, and the Shabad is the rider on the chariot. So if I have a stable mind, Aaron Mat, this is what the 38th Pauri says. He says, Jat Pahara Tirad Sunyar. Aaron Mat Ved Hathyar. Aaron Mat, stable mind. And Shabad is the Hathyar. So, this is how we find the balance. I hope I am able to explain, otherwise you can ask again. I'll address it again. What's the difference between the state where you say mind is Mandeep ji, what's the difference between the state where you say mind is like a clean board where nothing is written and meeting the Guru? When it is thoughtless, it is like a clean board. जद विचार नहीं रहन, मूविंग माइंड नू छड़ दिता, चलते हो मन राखे, अमृत चाखे. ड्रॉप द मूविंग माइंड, चलते हो मन राखे. इस मन को कोई खोजो पाई, तन छूटे मन कहां समाई. मूंद लिए दरवाजे, बाज ये ले अनहद बाजे. That's what it means. Internalizing jap and simran. It gets internalized automatically. We do simran regularly, it will get internalized in time. the more my dhyan is, the more it gets absorbed within me. Ji Maharaj. Karishma ji, I hope you are able to understand and relate to what I say. Otherwise, you can ask again, not an issue. Ji. Is there anyone else? Ji. So no more questions. Somebody can volunteer for Anand Sahib. Maharaj. Hanji. Ji Maharaj. Death is our parallel experience. It's always with us. When we make a loss, when we have illness, when we have pain, it's part of the death experience. When we lose a game, it's part of a death experience. Is it okay? Karishma ji, I'm not a sir, I am also a seeking Sikh like you are. So I don't want to be anywhere. I am the same as you are. So sir is an avoidable word. I understood the message, grateful to the... Thank you. I am glad you could connect. Maharaj, is it inappropriate to cry by remembering someone close we have lost due to death? No, it's not. It's probably the only way you can heal yourself. So, does it impact their further soul journey? It can. But if you cry, and if there is an emotional bond which is very strong, then if you don't cry it out, it will also lead a void. So, what is natural is fine. I mean, we can't force this. Does it? How? What do you mean by how? Anji, I don't know the name P. Does it impact the further soul journey? Whether it can, when we connect to somebody who has passed away and we call him or her again and again, then it distracts them from their journey. Of course, it will. Because actually, the thing is that we are not disconnected from anyone. So these experiences of connection are there everywhere. But if we keep calling them again and again, then it will distract them from where they are. Their energy will get distracted. But if it is a painful experience, then tears are made to ventilate. They are a natural part of our life. It's okay to cry out, and it takes 2 years, the modern psychology says, for us to heal when someone very close to us passes away. So, but don't make a practice of it that you keep calling the person. That is not healthy for them or for you. Ji Maharaj. Need to listen again and again. It's a deep thought process then. I'm glad that you find some Gobind Preetji, if you find it useful. That's the whole idea. Ji. No, I am not ahead of any time and space. I am just living the same experiences that all of us do. I only had the sangat of a very evolved soul with me in my younger years, who nurtured me. So there was, but spirituality is an absorbing subject. If we find it interesting, it will take lifetimes to experience it, and it will take us beyond the changing world. If Guru Prasad or Guru Kirpa exists, then only. I hope to find it someday. Ji Maharaj. One thing which I would like to mention to Karishma ji, if you can make an effort to learn dhyan, that will help. If you can learn how to drop the moving mind, to watch your thoughts. Because who is the one who is thinking? Let's find that person. Because the moment we find that, we will see these thoughts will go away. Because I am the source of these thoughts. So to be witness to these thoughts is one way of going into dhyan, of conserving the energy. It will help in this journey. One question may be for next time. No, please go ahead if you have a question. How to emotionally detach oneself from someone's suffering, emotional, financial, physical. How to detach from someone else's suffering? Can you come on the speaker? Then it's easier to understand the question. Hanji. Vaheguru ji. Hanji.
This question is coming because I didn't want to declare, but I feel that this is a confined, safe space. So I discovered that I'm an empath. Empath, what I mean is I see someone suffering and I cannot help that person. Or, I mean, in this human world, there are some people who are sent to suffer or whatever to do, whatever reason. But I'm not able to help them. Like if I see my close one going through this physical pain, all I can do is take that person to the doctor, let that person take medicine, that's all. Beyond that I cannot do, but I can feel that this has been going on for a very long time. Maybe I feel if I were in that person's place, I would have been able to tolerate even for a month or so. So I was privileged to learn yoga from a young age, and that time what he said is absolutely right. Yoga doesn't help, that's just one technique, but Simran, Seva and Sangha especially has helped a lot, and even Shabad. So that time that yoga class they used to say you detach yourself from your children, from your parents, emotionally. And I was like 12 years old. I was like, this is impossible. To live in a family and to detach yourself from your whatever mother-in-law, that lady used to say. I said, it is impossible. Like, how can a mother detach herself from the suffering of her child, right? So that's what I'm asking.
When I'm talking about dropping the thoughts and going into thoughtless mind, that is detachment. While you are attached, you are detached. जैसे जल में कमल निरालम, मुर्गाई ने साने, सुरत शब्द पवसागर तरिए, नानक नाम वखाने. Maharaj says, like a lotus is in the water, the duck is in the water, doesn't drown. The lotus doesn't get drowned in the water. Murgai ne sane, surt shabad. Like that, the attachment of surt and shabad will make you, will not help you, will take you away from drowning, will make you go beyond the changing mind. Nanak naam vakhane. And a naam will show you the way. So the detachment comes from surt and shabad. The understanding of surt. Surt is thoughtless mind, sahaj, where nothing is done, sahaj, nothing is moving, no thought is moving. How does it come? It will come by itself when we do Simran. जी महाराज। Can a grast be surrendered to Shabad and Guru completely? Can spirituality be their forte too? Of course. We are all grast people. What is there? Grasti is... Guru Nanak was a grast himself. We can live this physical world and yet transcend it. That is the whole beauty of it. Maharaj in Guru Amar Das Maharaj in Anand Sahib says, Viche Maya Paya. While you are in the Maya, you have found the Creator. Padmavati. There's no need to hate anyone, I would say. There's no reason for that. Hanji Maharaj, if all the questions are addressed, let's... Anand Sahib, if someone can volunteer, please. It's okay. Shabad is not our friend, so Maya pulls us. Dhanwad ji Maharaj. Vaheguru ji Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh. Thank you all.